try and summarize, it's a huge experience, but what it comes down to is that you are Jason Brody and you go traveling with your friends, backpacking around Asia looking for adventure, and you find an adventure, you go one step too far, you go a little bit too far down the rabbit hole of this kind of gap year kind of adventure, and you end up on an island that you really shouldn't have gone to, and everything just goes crazy. And then it's the story of Jason just trying to survive on this island, find his friends, and then get home.
Oh, come on.
As a level designer, it's super interesting. It's an awesome franchise to work on. It's a totally different experience for the player. Lots of FPSs at the moment. They're a corridor experience. It's very linear. It's going through a series of predetermined set pieces that everyone who plays the game will go through the same thing. For Far Cry, since Far Cry 1, it's always been about something a little bit different. It's about giving the player some toys to play with, giving them a space full of possibility, and giving them an objective. And really, how you go about that objective, it's up to you, and how you want to use the different tools that you have at your disposal. So if you're a very stealthy person, if you're a stealthy kind of player, you can scout out an area, you can pick off the guards that you want to one by one, and you can go in, get personal with some takedowns. If you're the Route 1 guy and you just like to go in guns blazing, you can drive up, get on the 50 caliber Jeep, shoot the shit out of everything, take a lot of guys down, throw some grenades in, pick up the flamethrower, go in and just torch some guys. And it's really, in level design, we keep it open and we keep it about the player's choice.
Is there a radio tower on the ship?
Yeah, and a shitload of Voss's leeches.
So we have a single story, and we have a whole bunch of missions that revolve around the story, and it revolves around Jason and his quest to find his friends and ultimately try and escape from the island. And in the story missions, yes, we sometimes have the more directed sequences like you saw in the demo. When you go and meet the doctor and the doctor sends you down the rabbit hole. But still, it's all about discovery, and it's about trying to have a different experience. If the game was always the same thing, if it was always about trying to attack a base to overcome an objective, the experience it would be the same for hours and hours and hours. So we try and keep it fresh. We wanted Far Cry 3 to be a different experience. We wanted people to play mission types that perhaps they didn't expect. And it's fun sometimes, just to put the gun down and explore something a little bit different. When you meet a character like the Doctor, he's a different character. He's not the kind of guy that is going to send you off to an enemy base to go and blow the shit out of everything and kill everyone there. When you meet him, you know that there's something a little bit different about him. And afterwards, the mission he sends you on, it's a different kind of experience.
Hey, if you're out and about, you could set me up with a couple of cave mushrooms and I would be right as rain.
Really, the options that the player has, it's not limited by the tools. Like, seriously, we give people everything they need to do almost everything they want. That's the power of Far Cry. That's one of our strengths as a shooter. And really, the limit, it just comes from you as a player. Like, we give you the tools you want. If you want to fly over a location and really look at it, we give you the hang glider. You can take that thing anywhere at any time. We don't have any technical restrictions on that. If you want to get a silenced weapon, if you want to put a silencer on any of the weapons that you have, you can go ahead and do that, and you can take a more stealthy approach to the combat. If you want to go loud, if you want to go in heavy, like I say, you can get the RPG, you can get the flamethrower, you can take the 50 cal. There are a whole bunch of different approaches, and it's the same with the things like the takedown. We have the double kill. You go behind the guy, you do the takedown, you take his knife, you throw the knife, and you kill a second target. That's silenced. We also have another version of that where you go up to the guy, you grab him from the front, you pull a pin on his grenade, and you kick the guy into a crowd of enemies, and then he'll explode. It's like the loud action version of the silent takedown. So it's, like I said, the tools are not the limitation. It's you as a player. It's your choice.
Oh shit, they're all over the place.
The player will always know where the next story mission is and where the next story mission will come from. As soon as you finish a mission, you'll be told where you need to go next. But the beauty is that you don't have to go straight there. It's up to you. If you want to go in a direct line to the next mission, it won't take you a long time, and you can get there and you can advance the story. But perhaps on the way there you'll be distracted by something. So in the demo, for example, we drove straight from the Medusa shipwreck. We drove straight to the Doctor. But you pass a lot of things on the way. Every time you see a waterfall, there's probably a cave behind that waterfall, and there's probably something in there for you to find and explore. the lighthouse. You know, you see the lighthouse as you drive up towards the doctors. There's this big lighthouse on the hill. And in the demo, we didn't stop there. We didn't go and investigate. We didn't find out why the lighthouse was there, why it fell into ruin, what's gone wrong at the lighthouse. Every moment like this in the world, it has a story embedded into it. And it's up to the player when they decide to go and investigate these things. What's super important for us is every time you do that, every time you go off the beaten path and explore something, you find a reward, you find something compelling. Whether it's a new toy, a new tool, or it's just something like the embedded story. You learn a little more about the island, about the secrets of the island, the people who live there. And then what we didn't show is what happens when you jump from the top of the lighthouse. For Far Cry 3, one of the key things we wanted to do was make sure that the missions were accessible. We didn't want to punish the players by making them play through a whole bunch of content they'd already done, because for me it has zero value at all. So the missions have a really rigid checkpoint system. So if you fail at any point in the mission, you're only going to have to go back and play a couple of minutes. We built on the base of Far Cry 2, so the things that you liked and the things that you expect from Far Cry 2, for sure, we'll have built on them. So, you know, the idea of having somewhere in the world that's your own, the safe houses you can take over, for sure, we have the same mechanic. No, we've just upgraded them since then.
The Purples will give you a lift on a grade A.
It's about Jason on the island, and, you know, he's a young guy, he's traveling the world, his mind is open to this kind of experience. So some people in his place, perhaps they wouldn't have let the doctor just jab his arm, because we wanted to leave it a little bit open in that mushroom sequence. You don't really know if it's the mushrooms in the caves that make you hallucinate, or it's because, remember, that doctor gives you the injection, and it's like the doctor's kind of trustworthy, but there's obviously something a little bit wrong with him. And, you know, Jason, his mind is open to this kind of experience, and it's the island is the kind of place where, you know, you're gonna take a potion from someone that perhaps you shouldn't, you know, and you're gonna take that potion, and something crazy, just like the hallucination sequence, might happen.
And not the yellows. Don't take them. They're liable to kill you.
We wanted to make sure that the open world was as much of an adventure as the story. So the things that you see in the missions, they're always hinting at a little bit of it in the open world as well. So when you meet someone like the Doctor, for example, the kind of things that he does, they're the kind of things that you can experience more of in the open world. Remember, at the end of the Doctor mission, he asks you if you'd like to come back for a taste later. So it's up to Jason if he does. It's up to the player if they want to go back for that taste.
Dr. Earnhardt here. Or in and out, as the case may be.
The island is a challenge for Jason, and at first it's a challenge for the player. You know, you just have to learn how to survive for the next 5 minutes. You aren't trained for this kind of thing. Jason's just traveling. He needs to learn to survive on the island. But when you actually start to become, you know, kind of active and able on the island, it becomes a place that isn't always hostile. It was super important for us that Far Cry 3, you could really learn to use the island to your advantage, and you can move around the island freely. It's not always going to be hostile, and importantly, it reacts to the things you do. If you take out a bunch of enemies at a certain location, when you go back there, the enemies won't be there anymore. The world will have adapted to the things that you do, and you can learn to master the island.
Take off! Okay.
I can be very, very specific about saying 2012 and not January 2012, but that's all I can say for now. But we'll be out on PC, PS3, and Xbox 360, and I look forward to showing you all a lot more of the game in the future.